right, good morning, everybody. This is Tom Osa from Rockland News. I had to add in that little intro music. We love it over here. It kind of creates some grandiosity to our news broadcast, but that's not why you're here. You're here to hear the news, and here we are for you. We're just going to do a quick set of information for you on this rainy Wednesday morning, May 28th, 2025, and here is all the news for you. Today at 11 a.m., head to the $1 Million Staircase inside the New York State Capitol in Albany. Everybody hop on that bus, where Senator Pete Harckham will be joined by clean energy advocates, labor leaders, and fellow legislators to rally support for the Accelerate Solar for Affordable Power Act, known as the ASAP Act. This bill aims to double New York's distributed solar capacity goal from 10 to 20 gigawatts by 2035, and it reformed the the utility connection process. It's all part of the state's push to meet climate mandates of 70% renewable electricity by 2030. Join the movement toward a cleaner, more sustainable future. Note that on a side note, the Champlain Hudson Power Express line that's going from Canada all the way to New York City, that's a 337-mile pipeline that is going to theoretically supply New York City with renewable energy for a very, very long time. Not for free, though. Rockland County Sheriff Louis Falco III invites the public to participate in a community gun buyback event happening Thursday, June 5th from 3 to 7 p.m. at St. Joseph's Church in Spring Valley. In collaboration with Spring Valley Police, State Police, and the District Attorney's Office and other local law enforcement, this event offers residents a safe, anonymous way to surrender firearms. No questions asked. Get up to $250 in prepaid gift cards, depending upon the type of weapon turned in. Help make our neighborhood safer, one firearm at a time. And I actually have the press release here, just in case you're interested in handing over your firearms. You got some really great sales going on. You could get $250 back for your assault rifle. Handgun, $150. Rifle or shotgun, $75. Non-working, $25. Antique guns, $25. No word on if there's any buybacks of super squirter guns, because that's the only ones I have. But I hope that the sale goes well, and it is a safe and profitable event for everyone. Suffern Mayor Michael Curley and the Village Board of Suffern extend heartfelt thanks to the community for attending this year's Memorial Day ceremony. The event honored those who gave their lives for our freedom and featured remarks from County Executive Ed Day, Supervisor Specht, and others. Special thanks to the Suffern High School band, the Scouts, and volunteers who made the event memorable. Mayor Curley emphasized the importance of passing down these traditions to our youth. For questions or community concerns, contact Mayor Curley at mcurley@suffernny.gov. Also, a solemn Memorial Day event was held at Mount Moore Cemetery in West Nyack, right next to the Palisade Center, on the same property or adjacent to it, to honor African American veterans and residents buried on the historic quarter-acre site. Located beside the Palisades Mall near Dick's Sporting Goods, the cemetery dates back to 1849 and is home to nearly 90 graves, including Civil War soldiers and Buffalo soldier Lafayette Logan. This year's honorees included three veteran widows with keynote speaker Susan Branham. The Friends of Mount Moore continue their mission to preserve this vital piece of Rockland history. The Rockland County Comprehensive Plan update, called Envision Rockland, is in full swing, and your voice matters. I've been to a few of these events, and they are very useful, especially for gathering feedback from the public and finding out what you want Rockland to be, look, and feel like over the next 10 to 20 years, because the county is updating their comprehensive plan, which has not been updated since 2011, so it's time for a reboot. And this will address matters such as water, electricity, infrastructure, parks, transportation, roads, you name it, this is part of the Envision Rockland workshop. And you could take little sticky notes and pop them on the board explaining what you want more of or less of in Rockland. What I added as my note on the sticky board is more music. This week there are 2 workshops. There's one tonight, Wednesday, in the Patriot Lounge. The Patriot Hills Senior Center. I said the Patriot Lounge because the Patriot Lounge is one of our sponsors. Thank you, Patriot Lounge. But it's at the Patriot Hills Senior Center, right next to the Patriot Lounge, this evening from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. If you can't make it to that one, tomorrow, May 29th, it's going to be at the Rockland County Fire Training Center in Pomona. And again, both run from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. You can also take the visioning survey at envisionrockland.com, post your ideas on the ideas wall, and mark important locations on the interactive map. So you have the opportunity to shape Rockland for tomorrow, but you got to get involved today. It is back. The Summer Movie Express at Regal Cinemas in Nanuet returns starting June 10th and runs through August 6th. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, you can enjoy kid-friendly films for just $1 at the first showtime of the day. It's a fun, affordable, it's family-friendly, and you could also get a discounted $5 snack pack with popcorn, a drink, and fruit snacks, or save more on the Dippin' Dots. I can't say that with a straight face. Save more with Dippin' Dots deals. Yeah. With a lineup of beloved classics. I'm getting a co-host. That's it. I'm getting a co-host. Mike Kluger, if you can hear me, come on over. We need you. So Dippin' Dots deals with a lineup of beloved classics. It's a perfect way to beat the summer heat. Visit regmovies.com for listings and plan your next movie morning. And on a side note, the newly rebranded Nanuet Town Center, formerly the Shops at Nanuet, is also hosting a summer concert series in the lead up to Rockland Music Fest, which is going to be held over at Clover Stadium on September 27th. But from July 11th up until at least August 8th, there's going to be a concert every Friday night in the main area of the Nanuet Town Center with a stage, PA, and a lot of fun events happening. Going to have some vendors and some really cool stuff. So stay tuned for that. We'll be reporting on that as information comes out. And our next item. WRCR. I had mentioned previously that WRCR is actually not completely sold. It is in the process of being sold. But in an interview briefly with the station owner currently, Alexander Medekovich, who we know for many years, he confirmed to us that the station is not completely sold yet. It's still on the air, but it's simulcasting WABC 770 radio, which is owned by Red Apple Media Group, AM 770. But Alexander Broadcasting, and you can catch this at transition.fcc.gov. WRCR Radio is still in ownership of Alexander Broadcasting, and basically the way that the station owner explained it to us is that there's a 3-month waiting period while the FCC makes sure that all ducks are in order. Because, hey, and, we're live streaming. We're obviously reporting the local news as we had promised, planting the flag. This is us, Rockland News. However, we are not set up, nor do we want to be set up for emergency broadcasting. That's a whole next level animal right there. That's infrastructure and so on. And AM 770 is very well suited for that specific capability. And for the record, Rockland News is not, nor is AM Rockland. So obviously, if there's an emergency like that, we would obviously encourage people to tune in to AM 770 and or WRCR AM 1700. Now, in the meantime, WRCR is exploring options to expand local Rockland-specific programming. However, that is not in place. Again, WABC 770 is simulcasting onto AM 770. So right here, right now, is essentially the only live streaming that you're going to hear in the morning. Sorry, for local news. And I hope that's useful to you. That being said, we have a litany of guests that we are going to be inviting back onto the show. They've been on the show before, but of course, Town of Haverstraw Supervisor Howard Phillips. We're speaking with Clarkstown Legislator Ward 3, I believe, is Donald Franchino, Senator Bill Weber. Who else we got? We're going to invite Hope Wade from Hope Wade Fashions back on the show. She's going to give us an update on the dog fashion show that was supposed to happen in Nyack last month. Unfortunately, it was scheduled to rain, so there's going to be a new date that's coming out soon. And what else? I'm just looking at the. We might invite RBA CEO Al Samuels on the show. We've been speaking with him on and off over the last couple of months, but I'm hoping we can get him on the show and he can talk about local issues that matter to you most in terms of business and municipal development, residential housing, all sorts of things that Al has always been tuned into. And yeah, I also have to thank our sponsors. Let me just give you the list really quick. Just if you could placate me for another 30 seconds on this. First of all, I want to thank Yabu Fence Company, located in West Nyack, New York. They are offering great outdoor furniture sales. Adirondack chairs are on sale now for your outdoor fire pit and your needs out in the backyard. We also have our longtime sponsors, Dana Pest Control. Thank you for being a sponsor of Rockland News. Lauren Molino Muller from Howard Hanna Rand Realty. Kobe Sushi. They got a new music lounge opening on May 31st. Check it out. Susan Bova from Coldwell Banker Realty. Sparkling Clean Homes. The Patriot Lounge. St. Thomas Aquinas College. Kumo Sushi Restaurant. FZ Perfection. Banchetto Restaurant. Outsource My IT. Clean Space Maintenance and Manage Company, North Rockland Chiropractic, the Stony Point Pancake Factory, Fiesta Acapulco, the Tactical Citizen, Ivy Rehab Physical Therapy located in West Haverstraw, New York, and of course Rockland Music Fest, which will be over at Clover Stadium on September 27th of this year. So a litany of sponsors that have jumped on in order to help out and really help us to keep the news, the local news going, so that people are informed and aware of what is happening. We do have a few more news blurbs, so we're going to mention those. We'll get into the weather and traffic very briefly, and then we will let you go ahead with your day. Next item is that a teaching assistant was indicted for abuse at a local school. Teaching assistant at Jesse J. Kaplan School in West Nyack has been indicted on charges of endangering the welfare of two nonverbal autistic children. Catherine Rios, age 54, allegedly pushed the children's heads underwater during a school pool session. She faces 2 felony and 2 misdemeanor charges. The incident was investigated by Clarkstown Police, and Rios is set to be arraigned on May 28th today at 9:30 a.m. Of course, District Attorney Tom Walsh reminds the public that these are allegations only and that the defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty. And finally, Catholic Charities Community Services of Rockland will host its annual Hearts of Gold dinner on June 18th at Town and Country in Congers. This heartwarming event honors individuals from all 14 Rockland parishes who have shown exceptional dedication to their ministries and to the community. Nominated by their pastors, the honorees reflect the spirit of service that Catholic Charities promotes. Last year's gala saw record attendance, and this year promises even more celebration and inspiration. Turning our sights over to the weather, which is often comical when we report it because the next day the weather is different than what is reported, even if we go to the Weather Channel, Google, or AccuWeather. But this is the way it looks right now. Right now, cloudy, 65 degrees, and it is going to go to a high of 67 degrees max. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it is going to rain, with Saturday being the most significant amount of rain. Thursday will be 68 degrees, Friday 73 degrees, and Saturday is going to go down to 66 degrees. And then it looks like we're going to have some smooth sailing for a while. It's going to be partially cloudy, partially sunny, I should say. Optimist. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all partially sunny, partially cloudy. 64 degrees, 68 degrees, and then 76. And it looks like Wednesday we're going to break on through to the other side, 81 degrees. And that is our weather for the time being. Let's head over to our traffic report. And just so you know, as I always mention, we use 2 specific locations for traffic reports. We're looking for more. We want to get that social, what is going on out there. Doesn't look like anything's happening on the Rockland Road conditions, which has 11.9 thousand members on it. There is an instructional on how roundabouts are safer for everyone with this really nifty graphic from the New York State Department of Transportation. Let me see how the Palisades is doing on this lovely morning. Nope, looks like right now all is clear. So we will keep an eye on that, and if anything occurs that we need to post, the best place to get the news very quickly is on our Facebook page, rocklandnews.com/Facebook. And again, as a reminder, to catch all the news that matters to you most, you head over to rocklandnews.com. We post approximately 20 to 30 stories per week on a variety of matters that pertain to you in Rockland County, New York. So that's all the news, and I hope you have a very enjoyable day. It's a little cold out there. Not sure if it's going to rain. Hopefully it won't, but yeah, bring an umbrella anyway. And hopefully if you're commuting to the city or elsewhere, it's a safe one. So my name is Tom Osa. Thank you for joining us on today's morning news broadcast. And let everybody that you know that we are, as I've said many times, we're planting the flag for live morning news. And we will have our guest host, Michael Kluger, back on the show. He did a fantastic job last week. We're looking forward to having him on the show again. And one last thing, we posted a variety of interviews with very interesting people across Rockland County last week. I'm just going to list them. You can go over to rocklandsound.com and you can catch all of these right now. Awesome podcasts. For instance, Laura Katina from Katina Law PLLC. She talked about how you can protect your business, start your corporate business protection off on the right foot. Scott Walters from Walters Wanderings Travel talks about some cool summer deals out there for travel. We had Mayor Michael Kohut from the Village of Haverstraw talking about the Haverstraw Ferry schedule. We also had John Ross from Rocklanders for Alternatives to Driving on the podcast as well, talking about also the Haverstraw Ferry schedule, but also noting that the ferry ends somewhere around 6 or 7 o'clock. That's the last ferry to run. So that, it's going to talk about that, the pluses and minuses of that, as well as some other alternatives to travel in the car, for instance, bus, train, and of course the ferry. And finally, we also had Dave Ziegler from Ziegler Technical Solutions giving myself and Mike Kluger an AI overview. He trains large language models, and he gave us some pointers on how to properly prompt and train artificial intelligence models in order to be able to provide the information that is not just useful, but also ethical and moral, because we want to keep some guardrails around this thing. So being careful with AI with the right prompting mechanism. So really good stuff. We talked about some concepts on there that I think you'll find fascinating. And now I'm really going to end the live stream. So again, thank you for everybody that supported this. We really appreciate you. Spread the word about AM Rocklands, and we'll be on pretty much almost every weekday at around 7:30 in the morning. Sometimes we'll do it a little bit earlier so that I could sit down and have some coffee and maybe enjoy what I just mentioned on the air. So you all have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you tomorrow for AM Rockland. Take care for now.